Reiki blessings, everyone. I'm holding my rosary so that we have Mary's energy with us here of the great mother who holds us all and will get us through this and will help us rebirth our nation and our relationship with other nations. I feel very helpless and hopeless as a common citizen, probably like a lot of you watching this. And I'm making these videos because as a spiritual circle leader in my community and someone who's talked to spirit my whole life since I was a little girl, I just feel the need to show up in some way and do something that may soften somebody's heart and calm somebody's soul, because I know that I need that. So I guess I don't even know what I want to say right now. I want to be here and I just want to sit with you and breathe with you. And I wish I could tell you that everything is going to be okay tomorrow, but I don't know that. I don't know that. But I do feel as an intuitive that everything is going to be okay and down the road, and that all of this is happening for a reason. And when he was elected the first time, I sat down because I was literally in a state of panic, and I sat in a fetal position and just cried and cried and cried. And I'd never really cared about politics before, but I knew something was not good, something was not right, and that we were in for a long road. Little did I know that we would be in for a second term of this turmoil. But I think that we all have to, if I can't talk to you from a political point of view. I'm not a political person, though I have learned more. I'm going to talk to you about it from a spiritual point of view, because that's where the energy kind of flows through me. But I think that one of the things, we have to look at the things that each of us can take out of this that will end up being a good thing. And they may seem very minimal right now when we are in the middle of crisis and chaos and murder and the collapse of our Constitution and our democracy. And we are in the middle of that. Make no mistake about it. I think we are beyond the point of pretending that that is not what is happening. So it's wake up time, as my favorite singer Tom Petty would say. It is wake up time. But there are things that we will each individually and as a nation and as a world and as a universe and as souls and inhumans on this planet, there are things that we will take from this. There are ways that we can become more found and not so lost, that we can feel more educated and understanding of our government and how it works. We will start to look at each other as what we should have been doing all along, that we are on this planet together, and God says that we all belong. We're here because we belong. God doesn't say that this one belongs and that one doesn't belong. God says wherever you are is the present moment, and whoever's in that moment with you and whatever's happening in that present moment is what is energetically supposed to be happening. It's an energy that as a collective we have called in, because I think a lot of us have been very tired of living this life of, keeping our head in the sand and just going about the day and getting through the basics of what needs to be done, and never really fully connected maybe to our neighbors that live right down the street, or our community that we live in, or our state, maybe not even knowing our representatives in Congress, their names and what party they belong to. This is a chance to become educated. It's a chance to become evolved. And it's a chance to shift and change the group consciousness. And for me personally, I see how much I've learned more about my government, my Constitution, my country, my representatives than I ever have before. And I care. This situation has taught me how much I actually love my country. Probably a privileged white woman who has taken for granted all of the privileges that I've had my whole life. Have I had grief and death and suffering and hard times? Of course I have, but that doesn't mean that I'm not privileged. I am privileged. And I've always been, a raging liberal and kind of a little hippie girl inside, and very, very witchy and connected to nature, and, wanting everybody to be happy and everybody's souls to be floating like clouds. And, I'm that person. What do they call us? Snowflakes. But isn't that what Jesus was? Isn't that what he taught us? To love our neighbor, to not put aside the person who had less money, had a different color skin, who didn't have had a different upbringing than us, who had different religious or spiritual beliefs than us, that had maybe that was sick, that was ill, that was diseased, that was slower in their mental processes. Didn't he tell us to love everybody, to make sure we take care of those who are lesser than us? And I think that what is happening right now is that we are all finally getting to understand what that means. And it is unfortunate that it had to come to something like this situation for us as a country and the world to understand that we all live on this planet and we were put here to help each other grow, to walk each other home, to listen to each other. We don't have to agree, but we do have to listen, and to always respond from love and kindness and caring and sharing. The basic concepts that we say we teach our children. Are we living those concepts? They're very simple concepts. But when you drive to work in the morning and you cut somebody off, or you're screaming at them in your vehicle and you're thinking ill will and sending ill energy toward them, and multiply that across the board, you know what I mean? From little events to that, to up to what's going on now. And it's very easy to see that we've been out of control. We've been out of sync. And just like any other wound, it can only get worse and pussy and worse and more disease until finally it is so big and so deep and so gaping that you have to tend to it. You have to look at it. You have to ask for help. You have to help each other. And that's what's happening right now. So in the midst of all of this, we have to remember, and I say this as a spiritual person, that it is absolutely devastating that we have lost people like Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and I'm sure many other people that I don't even know their name. They're people who have suffered, who have been arrested illegally, that have been detained, that are actually American citizens, on and on and on. Is it devastating? Yes, it's devastating. But these people are heroes. They are spiritual warriors. And on a soul level, they have chosen this as part of their spiritual path. And that doesn't mean that we all have to risk our lives, but we all have to do something. We all have to use our social media to get the word out. We need to talk to our family and friends and not pretend this isn't happening. We need to talk to people at our churches or wherever we belong spiritually. And we need to share, and we need to hold people, and we need to let people be sad, and we need to let people cry. But then we need to remind people that within us is a great power to come together. And it's a very simple declaration that is something that we want and that we're going to choose to do every day. And so in a small way, using my example before about people in traffic, we can try applying it to those small areas. And the more we do that, we will then apply it to these big areas. But I do think that the fact that we're seeing Republicans leave Congress over this, and I won't name names, we're seeing people who are saying they were going to run for certain parties, and now they're saying they cannot agree with their party that would support something like this. I've said to my husband many times that I think that this is going to come down to the fact that we have to be unified. And that means that the parties have to stop being so bipartisan. We have to see a break. We have to see them coming together for the common good, the greater good of the country, of the people of the country, instead of supporting their parties. And I do believe that this is going to begin to end with the Republicans starting to break ranks away and starting to vote with their heart and their conscience. And I think the energy is moving. I pray that it's moving. And do not discount prayer. Do not discount every day. If the only thing you can do besides call your congresspeople every day and leave a message on their things, or text message them or email them, use your voice in every way that you can. If you don't want to go out and protest, you don't have to do that. But you can show up like this. You can make a video. But at the very minimal, which is also a maximal thing, you can pray every day on your rosary, on your mala beads, sit in your meditation and focus on the vision of what you want this world to be. You could make art that welcomes in the higher consciousness energy. You can write poetry, you can make music, whatever you do in your life that you're passionate about, try to turn it into a prayer. Turn your life, your daily life, into a prayer. And our prayers combined raise great frequency and power. We've got this. We've got this. Reiki blessings.